We are starting with step 7 on Spell to Write to Read, page 42. Do you know what it takes, the smallest part that it takes to build anything? A house, a chicken coop, a birdhouse, a nail. Do you know what the smallest things are to build communication? Letters and numbers, the two foundational things. If you want to play a game with your brother or sister, if you want to read the card that Grandma sent you in the mail, if you want to check the price because you want to buy some tape, find your birthday on the calendar, read a book on your own, or read a big book on your own. That all comes down to two basic things: letters or phonograms and numbers. If you can learn and understand the 26 different phonograms, which include vowels and consonants, and 9 or 10 numbers, you can read this word. It maybe looks difficult, but once you learn, you can read it. Difficult, and things difficult seemed easier. Or you can look at this huge string of numbers separated by commas, and you can say, I don't know what that means. Or you can say, yes, I do. That is 32,517,394,865. So really quick in this step, we're going to be teaching quickly how to write the digits 0 to 9 and why that's important for the program. Imagine your clock. Well, first let's go over some things again. This is the top guideline. Okay. This is our midline or midpoint, and this is our baseline. A lot of the letters, when I say where to start, think about the numbers on a clock. So if you haven't learned the clock, if you maybe have an analog like this, you want to get a clock with a face. Okay, so for 0, we're going to start at 1 o'clock and come back around to connect it. We're not going all the way to the top line, but we are going to sit on the baseline. Okay, so we're going to start at 1 o'clock, go around and connect it. And what does that symbol mean? When you're looking at letter phonograms, this says right? And that is a sound associated with a symbol that we'll string together to make up words. This symbol is not just a sound. This is a number of units. So if I go to the store and I want a can of Coke, but I have $0, I have nothing. 0. 0 units, nothing. The next number is number 1. And I like to go a little bit of a slant because I do cursive. So you start here almost at the top, like at 12 o'clock. Right? I'm starting at 12 o'clock. And I'm just going straight down to 6 o'clock. From 12 to 6. Number 2 is funny because even though this is 2 o'clock on the clock, number 2 does not start at 2 o'clock. It starts at 10. And you're going to go around the clock, come back down to 7, and you can go straight across, or I like to do a little bit of a loop. Okay, so we're starting at 10 o'clock, up and around at an angle to about 7 o'clock, and then across to 5. This is a unit of 1. I have $1. I am 1 years old. I have 1 pig. This is 2 units. I have $2. I have 2 blocks. I have 2 pigs. I'm 2 years old. Right? I went around the sun 2 times. The third number is 3. 3 is a clock letter, but you're not going to go all the way around the clock. You're going to start at about 11, and you're going to go just stop at the 6, and then you're going to go back around to 7. Okay? So start at 11, go around the clock, stop, and around the clock, stop. And that is 3 units. $3, 3 horses. Number 4, you start at about 11 o'clock. You're going to go straight down and through the middle, and then starting at 1 o'clock, straight down. So 11 o'clock, straight to midline, and then across. Pick up your pencil, start at 1 o'clock, straight down, going right through number 5, all the way to the baseline. Number 5 is like a little clock on the bottom with a flag on top. Okay, so we're going to start at 1 o'clock and go straight across to 11, down to 9 o'clock, then we're going to enter the clock and go around and stop at 8. You see that? From 1 to 11, down to 9, and then come around, stop about 7, I guess. 6 is a clock letter. So you could just do a circular clock and then add the flag on top. But I like to kind of go down the slide and into the clock pool. It's a little more fun for your pencil. Take a dip. 7. You start at about 11 o'clock and you're going straight across to 1 and then down to the baseline at an angle. If you want to add a little flag here, you can to be fancy. 8 is just like 3, but it's 2 whole clocks instead of little openings there. And I like to do it like a racetrack. Racing is big where I'm from. So we're going to start at 2 o'clock, come around to about 9, but instead of finishing the loop, you could just do 2 circles. We're going to go around almost to 4, come around the racetrack. That's why it's called a figure 8, right? Vroom, vroom, vroom. Make your racetrack there. And then 9, just like 6, you could do a clock with a stick, or you could come up and circle it around like we came around and circled, right? I'm going to start at 2 o'clock, come back around and connect, and back to baseline is how I'm going to do it. And then again, these are units, right? So 4 units, 5 units, 6 units, 7 units, 8 units, 9 units. You're getting dice out would be good. So showing you what does that symbol actually mean. And why is that important for this program? In this program, we use numbers with a red pencil to show differences in the sound of a phonogram. For example, the word bus. I took the bus to school. If I use the phonogram, b, a, s, this is the first sound this phonogram makes. It's the only sound, b. This phonogram says a, u. This one says s, and it says z, right? So when I write the word as, this word has no bread markings because it's first sound, first sound, first sound. This phonogram says a, aw. Don't mark it, it's first sound. But remember this phonogram says s, z. So I'm going to put a little 2 on top. Why else could you use numbers in this program? Sometimes we have a silent E. In we have one rule that gives you 5 reasons why we use silent E. Okay, so the first reason is the vowel sound changes because of the E. The second reason is English words don't end in V or U. So if I need to know my numbers, right, because I'm going to use the word K, I think, have the word face, a, s. This is the first sound, yes. This is not the first sound. The first sound of this one is k, and this is a silent E. So I need to mark it somehow, right? I could mark it like this, because the E tell the A to say its name, a vowel sound change because of the E. I could also mark it like this. C says and G says J because of the E. So I would underline it once, underline here twice, and put an arc. Or I could mark it with a 3 because it's also the third reason. So you're going to need to know your numbers as you go through this program. Good job.